What made you hire a marketing agency in the first place?
I hired a marketing agency because I had a business and I needed to create stability for for my employees and bringing new clients in the door. And what happened was I thought that that would be the answer. But like deeper down, it was like, why did I have a business in the first place?
Mm.
And the reason I started my business was like for purpose because I didn't wanna do what I was doing in my previous careers, and I wanted to bring, stability and freedom to my family, and I wanted to also, like, do that by doing the services that I thought would bring me purpose and helping them. But through that, I felt that I really lost my freedom in trying to help them. And I would say even going, like, deeper as to, like, why did I start a business? Why did I need this freedom? And the truth was, growing up, I knew what it felt like to have a family and a good family, and I knew it was like to have stability and, peace and love, even though, like, those things weren't necessarily, like, monetary, you know? And what happened, my dad got sick when I was, 14, and that I realized that that one person had all the stability and strength and, um, that brought peace to my life and freedom to my life, and, I guess for a long time, I've been searching for providing that back to my life, and also, like, never having to go through that again or having anyone else to be in a position where they had to feel like that again. So, when he was sick, basically, like, my whole house crumbled. Like, everything fell, like, just fell apart, and, there was no emotional stability, there was no like real financial stability. Like I was surrounded by people that were extremely like unpredictable, and the like voice of reason and truth and structure was gone and overnight. And so, I think deep down it was like that internal feeling of like growing up with that and that feeling that instability was that like I've been solving to never feel like that again. And
Through the
so,
chaos.
yeah, through just like that chaos and everything. So, you know, I thought having a job and like getting a career would help. And so I had a career and then I was like, ooh, I have to rely on my bosses to say so. So I'm going to start my own thing, help other people find purpose. And it's going to just bring me this predictable home and house that like I have control over. But what I found was that when I did that, I, was super passionate in the beginning. I loved my business. Like I love doing beauty services and providing services that builds confidence for women and people. And, I've also worked with like helping people obviously start their careers and learn a skill that they can grow a business. And I've taught women how to, what a successful business looks like and how it should be structured. But for a long time, it wasn't like that.
Mm.
So I thought the solution to growing was just like, if I just become a better person, if I just grow, if I just work really hard, if I just like do good things for other people, then that's going to provide me freedom. But I found that it elevated more problems. The more my business grew, the more problems I had to solve. So I thought like a quick fix would be to hire a marketing agency. And and so, I felt really good at first, and I felt like, "Oh my gosh, this is the solution to having a marketing agency and filling my team's books with people." But it just created more problems. It was immediate satisfaction, but then, I found that, like, just getting more clients in the door wasn't the fix, you know? So
And that was like the first realization whenever you hired that, okay, I'm going to hire a marketing agency and I need to run ads to my business.
Yeah, I need to just get more clients, whatever it is, quick fix.
Right.
And,
So what
and
happened actually when you turned the ads on?
yeah, so what happened when I turned the ads on, I didn't even get, like, before.
Mm.
So, because I started my business from 0, and then I was found that, like, okay, I'm helping all these people, I'm doing these services, I'm, like, providing so much purpose, but then I was gone from my family. I was doing services. I was answering the phone. I was, up at night answering DMs. I was like customer service, financial, business, like strategic, everything. And so I thought, okay, all I need to get back to why I started was just hiring somebody. So I hired my first person. So I thought, okay, I'm going to just have more freedom, because I won't have to do as many services. But the marketing agency came in because I just thought, okay, let's just generate some leads and get her books filled because she was great and talented. But I started getting really concerned and worried that she was going to leave and I was going to go back to having no freedom again and being doing all this alone. So I ended up feeling very anxious again. And then so we turned the ads on and I was still doing some services, but now we have this volume of people coming in and they weren't all nice and they weren't necessarily good people. And, you know, I was on calls with all these people and I was booking people and I was scheduling not just people for myself now, but I'm now answering, questions for my team, you know? And so I just had this other layer of problems that I'm now not still doing services. I'm now not concerned about filling, my team's books, but like I still had no time.
So your one problem you tried to fix turned into
Yeah.
several
And it was
new
just total
problems.
chaos. So yeah, it that I realized that I needed to solve more issues and I just kept, you know, searching for that. Like, okay, how are these other businesses that are like making millions of dollars a year? They're doing this. I see them with structure, like they're not working 7 days a week and all hours of the
Filtering their leads.
yeah,
Yeah.
how are they doing this? And no one would tell me how.
Mm.
No one. So it was like a quick fix for one thing wasn't this end all be all for the entire solution and structure. So,
Well, how is that affecting your personal life? Like if you tried to solve one problem in your business and then it created several more.
yeah.
What was that? How is that affecting you and your
W
family?
well, I mean, monetarily, I was doing well, but personally, I was even if I was present, I was emotionally stressed out, I was not feeling well, and I didn't feel peace in my business, and I certainly didn't feel stable, which was that internal thing that I now realize I was always searching for, was to build something.
Resurfaced from
Yeah,
your, the tragedy with your dad.
yeah, and it was, like, also something I wasn't willing to give up on because I knew I could figure it out. If other people figured it out, that I could too, and and I guess I just never want people to feel like that over years of, like, gated information and, like, quick fixes or tricks to, like, just put in your business that, "Oh, this is gonna help you." And, like, that's just a lie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when you were trying to sort out, all the new problems and you found that a lot of the leads that were coming from the ads might not have been the most quality leads, was that when you thought there's got to be a better way?
I wouldn't say, like, that's when I thought there should be a better way. I felt dumb.
Mm.
Because here it was, I thought all I needed was more clients, and I got more clients, but I still wasn't feeling the peace or predictability or the things I was really seeking my business, like my dream business to provide, and so it it made me feel like I was I guess a failure because or it's like this is never going to end or I just have to give up, like what are my options? And so I had to kind of feel like humble myself and just be like, I don't know everything right now, but I know there's a better way. But I became more intuitive about the people I could trust and who I couldn't trust, and it's just about like intention on business, whether, you have a beauty business or you have a marketing agency or whatever it is. It's like you don't want to just give quick fixes to people. You want to like serve with mission and purpose and like actual transformations for people, not just like quick fixes.
Completely. And so how many marketing agencies, as you were figuring this out, how many programs do you think that joined and tried to figure
Oh,
out
uh,
what was happening
yeah.
and how to
I
get to
I mean,
them?
I can't even tell you how many courses, one-on-one coaches. I mean, even just like when it comes to just dollars, just hundreds of thousands of dollars of education and just spending my own money on testing things. And that was what my mindset was that I learned from my dad was knowledge is power. And knowledge is also peace, and it gives you data and decisions. And so I knew if I could just get the right information and find the right solution and I could learn that and prove that in my businesses, then I could help so many people going through exactly what I've been through and easily diagnose and figure out the solution so they don't have to go through that.
Right. So when you were running ads with these different agencies trying to sort out what happened, you know, when did you say to yourself, there has to be a better way. They're not telling me something.
Yeah. So I remember this one agency I was working with, and they were running ads and they were just sending me these like results. And I saw their their businesses, their marketing agencies and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, how are you doing this sanely? And their solution was for me to track this is manually track this. So not only am I like doing services, taking more sales, booking more appointments, all this stuff, let's just let's manually track everything because the light bulb went off was that they would not tell me how to track. They would not tell me how to measure anything. And so what that meant was I realized that they didn't wanna be measured. Their performance did not wanna be measured. And, like, numbers are not emotional. They're just like, "Hey, these are the fixes that we need to do in order to improve this problem." And without those solutions, and without that information, then you're just flying blind and you're just gonna be continuing to deal with that same level of
Tens of thousands.
bullshit.
Like take the money, light it on
Yeah,
fire.
just yeah,
That's the interesting point you made that they didn't want to be measured, but they also wanted to gatekeep
yeah,
how you
because I felt like if I
could
left
read your
them,
ads.
then I was not gonna have at least some people coming in the door.
Yeah.
And then my other person was gonna leave me, so then I'd be stuck at where I was at, like, you know, 1 or stage 2 of my business.
So the fear is continuing to
Oh,
rise.
yeah, so there's just like, well, if I do this and then this person's gonna leave me, and if I turn this person off who I know is lying to me, uh, then I'm gonna be back to where I was over here.
Because essentially, it's not like they told you how to take it on and understand it for yourself. They
Mhm.
maybe wanted to keep you roped into the program and, like you said, flying blind, not
Yeah,
really understanding what you need to understand about
yeah,
the ads you're spending money on.
yeah, and what I realized is in, like, what I never wanna sell with business, coaching, marketing, all these different things is that, like, there is just this one quick fix. Even though there is what I found was that having systems and structure, it sounds like really scary because I was never super techy, like if my remote control goes out at home, like I'm barely putting the batteries back in. So I but I knew that there were systems and organization that would allow me, like, that was the key to freedom. And I cannot tell you how building this over years and, like, testing it with my own money and, like, having a team and, like, me not having to work and focus on the business on what I wanna do in my life and business, and, like, I love creating things, like, I love creating businesses, I love, uh, fixing problems, like, I love also helping people, and, like, so I realized that, like, I had a mission to help women not go through this and sacrifice their families and have, like, that underlying peace and predictability with who they are, not just in themselves, but who they are and confident in what they've built, and began with in the first place.
So that really is kind of the difference between you, the beauty moguls, versus them. Like,
Mhm.
is the idea to empower the people that come through your program with the information so that they can run their own businesses like a CEO.
Yes, and I remember, this one coach that, like, I fired, you know, and I remember that I had that realization about the systems, the structure, like, how things should be ran, and I just told that person, like, "I see the light of being a CEO here," and, like, I think at the time I was spending, like, $5,000 a month or more on not just, like, ads or anything like that, but
With the
just
program.
just this one program, and it was like a 6-month contract or 12-month contract or something like that. So, I mean, what, 60 grand in just 1 year, half a year of coaching? Like, that's crazy. Without even having a system. Like,
Or knowing what they were doing with your money
mhm.
and how it was supposed to work.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think a big misconception is, like, growth is just this top dollar number. Like, growth is just like, okay, well, you get your business to from 20 to 40 or 40 to 60 or 60 to 100 or 100 to 120, or I mean, I've been through all of those stages of business, but, like, at every stage, no matter what the financial, like, top end number was, it still needs to be matched with the feeling of where you wanna be in your life and how you wanna feel in your business, and how also, like, the ability to impact others, not just your clients through your business, but your team, and teaching women about that greater mission and purpose and how to be that leader and, like, change their lives in the process is really the most beautiful thing about business, because, um and it's not easy, but, like, growing as a person or as a team, easy doesn't mean that, you're gonna have this, like, transformation as a person,
Mhm.
because you're not gonna have these light bulb moments go off, and you're not gonna have, these, like, questions of self-doubt and failure, and then overcoming those failures and feeling a true sense of confidence because you did.
Right.
Mhm.
Just proud of what you were able to push through and how
Mhm.
you're able to persevere
Mhm.
and find the answers.
Yeah, but most importantly, serve others,
Mhm.
So,
So would you say that that is kind of your baseline? It's like a service first baseline of
yeah.
how you begin to run your business.
Yeah, I would say service first, like, and it's like mission and your not service, it's almost like your heart first, and then service second. Like, where's my positioning and my alignment and, like, where I wanna go and who I wanna be, like, through this process. And if we all, like, can understand baseline that business is not easy, but there are solutions to transformation and peace and, like, growth, and, like, getting that your business can be predictable and your business can be stable, you know? That's the goal.
I love it.